Steve White Trek by 89, for Steve Arts 89, Star Trek's Gatekeeper, one of them. Yes, I saw this article from Media Week. I keep wanting to call it Media Watch. There's an Australian show called Media Watch I always watch. But yes, this is an Australian website or New Zealand website. Either way, it's from our side of the planet. And it shows that Star Trek Picard was #1 in New Zealand for streaming shows and #1 overall for television, the premiere of the second season. And for Australia, it was #2 on the digital platforms and #5 on the regular TV platform, regular TV viewings. So I'm kind of shocked. I am aware that Paramount Plus is, a new thing in Australia, and they've been really pushing it really hard. Every ad break there seems to be a Paramount Plus ad, and every other ad break there seems to be a Star Trek Universe or Star Trek Discovery ad. So I'm not really shocked that the first episode got a lot of views. Now, whether people came to this not having seen Picard and Discovery because a lot of people didn't watch it before, and Netflix didn't do much to promote it in Australia, and it really hadn't really caught on. It didn't really have any sort of cultural effect. I didn't really feel any of that, but I am sort of feeling now that the tide has changed and shifted, and a lot of people seem to be watching it now. I just don't know if they're watching it, like I said, because they haven't seen Picard and Discovery, and they're expecting Next Generation. And if they don't get it, will they tune out and will it slip? Is this because often when a new show opens and starts, it rates really well, and then it sinks down a bit and settles down to the level it's going to sort of stay at, assuming it rates well enough to stay around. Is that what's happening with Picard? Is season 2 kind of like the premiere because Paramount Plus is new and a lot of people didn't watch Star Trek on Netflix? So that's what I'm guessing is happening here. But if it does last, it will be very disheartening because it's not good Star Trek. It's not the utopian future that they had in the Next Generation. It's very dystopian. It's got, synthetic people being discriminated against, androids being used as slaves, Romulans who are trying to, escape, immigrants who are being treated like trash. There's so many horrible things in Discovery and Picard. People who used to be villains and used to be aspirational figures are now murderers or replaced by synthetic people. And I'm just finding it really hard to get into, and I haven't been able to get into it. And I don't know what else to say about it. I just find it's more, they've taken out all the things that made Star Trek unique, and they've turned it into generic science fantasy, which is more appealing to the broader audience who didn't like Star Trek because it was too talky and it was too intellectual and too preachy and, too boring. Nothing happened. It was just a bunch of people talking. People just want phaser fights and darkness and, like every other science fiction show, which they're all dystopian futures. Star Trek was the one bright, utopian, aspirational future where humanity had evolved, and that was what made it unique. And I got it on that level, but what I'm realizing is most people didn't. Most people got it on just a superficial, Alien of the Week and girls in miniskirts sort of level, and they enjoyed that part of it, resented the rest of it, the intellectual, moralistic, philosophical side of it, and now that's all gone. They're like, oh, this is Star Trek for me now. I relate to this. I can see myself in this. And that's the sad thing about it, because the original Star Trek used to say in the future, things will be better, things will be different. We will have evolved. We won't have the problems that we have today, and things will be better, and we can go into space and explore. What Discovery and Picard say is, in the future, nothing's going to change. We're going to have the same problems. We're just going to take the same problems out into the future and have the same issues dealing with them, same emotional problems, same interpersonal problems, same social problems, and basically we are the same. And unfortunately, that's what people want to see. They want to see themselves in their TV because it's all narcissistic and shallow. And I find, unfortunately, Star Trek has become part of this current sort of climate of TV and reality TV and that sort of nihilistic, all about me, dark, sort of negative, cynical, anything else is lame. And it's just, I'm finding this really depressing. I'm finding this really depressing news that it's doing this well, because it means that so many people are watching it. So few people are seeing the difference between the old Star Trek and, new Trek. So yeah, it's very depressing. And I can't pretend to be excited about it or be positive for you people. So all those people saying you should only be positive. You can't say anything about Star Trek, and be a fan if you're not positive. You have to support everything that they do, no matter what it is, just mindlessly, without any thought. Just promote it, support it, be positive. Otherwise, you're a hater and you're a bad person. It's like I cannot pretend it's a good thing for them to have stripped all the uniqueness out of Star Trek, made it into generic science fantasy, and made it more appealing to the general audience who never liked Star Trek and real science fiction before. It's funny. It's people who will say, "See, it is successful. You're wrong." People love new Star Trek. Actually proves that it's not Star Trek, because Star Trek was never really popular before. It was always niche. There was only a small group of people that really supported it. And if it's appealing to the masses now, that says everything. I don't need to say any more. I'm going to go. I don't need to talk for another couple of minutes. That says it all, sadly. And yes, that makes me a gatekeeper. Yes, that makes me an elitist. Yes, that makes me up myself and thinking I'm better than other people. But yeah, what else can I say? Something that was brilliant and deep and complicated is now shallow and appealing to the lowest common denominator. And we've lost something. We've lost something of value, something that, a work of art basically, a vision someone had for the future is now gone. And we've just got this, we've got nothing to replace it. We've just got more of the same. Because Star Trek was different, it was unique. It wasn't like all the other shows. And now it's just one of the others. I'm going to go. I'm dead inside now, in case you can't tell. Did you see the life leave my body? I realised I was hearing someone talk about the 4 stages of grief: anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. I went through my angry phase with Star Trek. I went through my bargaining of just change this, just change that. If you can keep this, you can keep that. Just change this, and it'll be Star Trek. To the depression of just mourning, I've lost this thing that meant something to me, and now to just acceptance of, well, you can't do anything, so long as Paramount can make money from the general audience watching it, they don't care if it's not giving Star Trek fans what they want and it's not, the Star Trek it used to be. They just care about how many people watch it and, how many subscribers they have and that it contributes to that. So I guess I'm getting to that acceptance place of like, it's dead, Jim. Sorry. Bye.